listening to Dislyte X Hertz Radio.
Dislyte X Hertz Radio.
Dislyte X Hertz Radio. Dislyte X Hertz
Radio. Hi. Hi. weapon and herb. Yeah. Hey! Kitty! My microphone was just killed by the cat. You can just walk around here. Just knock off the microphone. The year 2027, 15 years after the arrival of the Miracles, 12 years following the establishment of the Esper Union. Yeah. Meow. All Esper's related cases are processed in Gyret, the Union's headquarters, in conjunction with the Marshal's Bureau. Mr. Loyan, I'm afraid resolving this case will require the Union's assistance yet again. Think nothing of it. I promise we'll apprehend those criminals and rescue every single child they kidnap. You know what? His picture actually looks better than his model. His model is too bulky, I guess. Like, to me, I imagined him more like trapezoid shape, and when I look at his model, he's not. More bulky. Even his face is more bulky on the model. Loyan, Yanlo 1, Union Hub Director. What's your plan? First, we head to the scene of the crime. Every Esper powers are unique, and that means that every Esper will leave behind a unique calling card. If the culprit lured these children away using a divine power, our experts will be able to track them down immediately. We have checked all the footage we can find, but there is no sign of any suspicious person. So it's hard to say exactly where the scene of the crime even is. They planned out their road beforehand, making sure to avoid any security cameras. Looks like we are dealing with a serious criminal. This is going to be a tough case. I understand, but time is critical. I'm well aware, the longer we take, the slimmer our chances become. After escorting the frowning marshal out of the room, Luoyan turns to see a man at the other end of the corridor. Lily, what are you doing here? Oh, just here to lend a hand and deliver justice. Lily Knezha, Union Oppressed Chief. No, what? Yeah. Battle with a cat. I happen to have a friend who can see into the future. Remember him? The one we met in Tianmen. You don't mean Feng Shui? Feng Shui? That's right. If he can foresee where the kidnapping occurred, we could have no problem finding the culprit. We should have no problem. Do you still keep in touch with him? Not for the last 3 years, no, but he's a man of justice. I'm sure he will drop by. What we lack right now is time. And that's where Feng Shuan can help. He's our best chance at saving those children. Kitty, what are you doing? Yeah. After saying farewell to Luoyan, Li-Ling returns to his apartment. When you need me most, I will appear at your side. Don't forget I've seen the future all over. That's what Feng Shuan told him all those years ago. Is he really gonna show up? The more I think about it, the more it feels like he was just mocking. I'm a man of my word, pal. Speak of the devil. A familiar figure appears and takes a seat on Li-Ling's sofa. He leans against the sofa back, his long hair nearly spilling to the ground. Hey, they decided to do some kind of different kind of animation. They put the character on the sofa, actually. Compared to the cheerful boy in Li-Ling's memories, the young man in front of him seems far more composed and solemn. But his lazy demeanor is the same as ever. Sorry for coming in without saying anything. That was pretty rude, I suppose. No, you came at just the right time. I have an urgent case on my hands. I could really use your help. If it has to do with the kidnappings, I'm afraid I can't help. You're turning me down before I can even finish. If I know you're looking for me, then I know the reason why too. After all, I've already seen how this case ends. Well, that was so sus, guy. So sus. Branches of the future. I need your help if I am going to rescue those children. You can save them. Not even one? I'm sorry, but there is nothing I can do. What happened to you, Feng Shuan? What happened to all that talk about defying destiny? Li-Ling can hardly believe the lifeless look in the eyes of his once spirited friend. Back then, when Tangton was under attack by the Miramon, the Esper Union's rescue team was caught outside the wall. Hello, Aloyno. Wait, the cat is inverted. The kitty is inverted! That's why it says names in the wrong way. Oh, never. I will fix it later. The issue I had here was that I can't have the kitty on this side of the screen if my kitty is usually on the other side of the screen on every other scene. That's why I inverted it and now it says names backwards. Hi. That's when you told me to tear down the massive wall standing between us. If you hadn't taken that ghost of a chance, who knows how many people would have died that day. That day you taught me that we decide our destiny and nothing else. I've lived by that principle ever since. That was a long time ago. And yet every member of the rescue team still remembers it. Everyone remembers how courageous and decisive you were that day, even as we stared death in the face. Liling's words stir something Feng Shuan's memories, and his calm gaze steers like a ripple across a still pond. But the ripple quickly dissipates, and his eyes regain their somber calm. No, Liling, I didn't change the future at all. My abilities only allow me to calculate the probability of future events. I saw the possible outcome, that's why I told you to tear down that wall. In the grand scheme of causality, the past serves as a base and crucial events serve as connected points along the path. The future is determined by choices we make along this path. I can see all kinds of possible outcomes as well as the probability of them coming true. After that, I can use my power to influence low probability events into becoming reality. Hey! Here's a superpower I wanted to give one of the characters I created. But I have no control over outcomes that I can't see. Then why don't you try looking again? Maybe something has changed. Please, I just need to know if there is a chance of saving those children. Guess there is no convincing you. Feng Shuan closes his eyes, and a number of indiscernible futures slowly come into view. A minute later, he opens his eyes once more. Liling stares at him expectantly. Well, it's the same as before. You won't be able to save a single one. But why? Where could I have gone wrong? I can't say for sure. The events behind the matter are obscured by mist. What if we clear that mist first? Will that show you how to change the outcome? Even if we can see the chain of events leading up to the end, there is still no changing it. When an outcome has been decided like this, no matter how much you struggle to avoid it, in the end, in some form or another, the result will be the same. That's not true. I changed an outcome before. I already explained that what happened in Tangtan, it doesn't count. Then what happened 3 years ago doesn't count either? You predicted that the shadows would use your family to make you join them, right? But then we ruined their plans and gave them the beating of a lifetime. At first I thought we had won too. But 3 months later the shadows came after my little sister. They scared her so badly that she accidentally fell down the stairs. Ling, is she okay? Liling suddenly recalls Feng Shuan's sister, who is only a few years younger than him. Her laughter was as light and cheery as a wind chime in the breeze. She fell into a coma and hasn't awakened since, no different from the outcome I saw back then. That's just how destiny works. The paths may differ, but the destination is always the same. Ever since then, it's been harder and harder for me to see the futures of those closest to me. Maybe it's destiny's way of punishing. Oh, this is so depressing, guy. As best I can. I've said my piece, so there is no point in me staying here any longer. Don't be in such a hurry to leave, Feng Shuan. I still think we should talk more about this. Why do you insist on being stubborn? No matter what happens, you're up against a brick wall. If it means a better future, I will tear the whole damn wall down. If I remember correctly, you're turning 20 this year. You're not a kid anymore, Liling. Which is why I'll take full responsibility for my choices. No matter what happens, it won't be your fault. Just think of me as another customer who wants to hire you for your services. I don't care if it's only bits and pieces of the whole picture. I will work with whatever you can tell me. I have my own rules for accepting requests as well. I know, after all, so does every other fortune teller out there. But regardless of the outcome of my investigation, I can assure you that the Esper Union will pay you double your usual rate. We'll offer Ling the best medical service available too. I will go find Lao Yan right now and ask him to give you his word. Fine, but let me just say this one last time. I know, you can't clearly see the future for those who are close to you, so let's try a slightly different approach. I want to know who the culprit is and where they're going. Feng Shuan is unable to persuade Li Ling and has no choice but to agree to divine the future once more. I couldn't see the culprit's face clearly enough, but I managed to find the location of the kidnapping. It's going to happen tonight in the suburbs of Jairet. Without a moment's hesitation, Li Ling rushes towards his destination. He arrives at the foreseen location just as night begins to fall. On the outskirts of the city, the expansive wasteland is sparsely dotted with a number of dwellings. I don't see anyone out here. Where could the kidnapper be hiding? This place is scary, mister. There aren't any Miramon out here. There's nothing to be scared of. Now let's hurry before it gets dark. Just as doubts begin to form in Li Ling's mind, he catches sight of two figures. One is a little girl of 6 or 7 years, and the other is Freddy of the Shadow Decree. Brutal, weak, avaricious. In an instant, every word used to describe criminals comes to Li Ling's mind. But I can't walk anymore. Cut the crap, kid. I won't. Unhand that girl right now. The Esper Union. You're just in time. Let go of her or I swear I will knock every one of your teeth out.
That's my power!
As Freddy slowly loses ground, he also loses the will to fight. Eventually, he turns away and tries to escape. What's the matter? Running away because you know you can't win? Is this what the Esper Union calls justice? Who are you? The little girl's crying suddenly reminds Li Ling of his main objective, to protect the life of the victim. I'm not going to hurt you, little girl. I'm here to save you. Once I arrest that man, huh? Where did he go? Li Ling turns to look in every direction, but there is no sign of Freddy. Catching up to him would be simple enough, but not while protecting an exhausted little girl. My name is Li Ling. I'm an office chief in the Esper Union. What's your name? My name is Yalina. Oh, it's okay. Oh, there. I don't have time for this. Yalina, where are your parents? Do you know which street you live on? I don't know anything. Mommy and Daddy told me not to talk to strangers. Li Ling wants to chase after Freddy, but Feng Shuan's prophecy makes him uneasy. What if something happens to her after I leave? Forget it. I will just take her home and ask Feng Shuan to watch her. I guess, this is one of the obstacles in this investigation. He went alone, and then they didn't have anybody to go after Freddy. So he had to choose going after Freddy or taking the little girl back. What's up, my fortune-telling friend? I managed to rescue someone. A kidnapped child. A little girl, yes. Keep an eye on her while I go after the culprit, alright? Why didn't you take her home? She's too cautious to tell me where she lives. Why don't you help me find out instead? Very logical. You just took a little girl to some guy she doesn't know. She must be terrified. Clear? Figure out where her house is, and then we can safely escort her home. I can only predict future outcomes, not find out people's personal information. Besides, never mind, forget I said anything. What's your name, little girl? My name is Yelena. Feng Shuan gently pats Yelena on the head and squats down to her level. Where's your home, Yelena? It's a big house with an even bigger yard. And where is this big house? Can you point us in the right direction? That man made me walk left the whole time before, so it's probably to the right. But we took so many turns to get here, I don't know which way to go anymore. Guess you know more about kids, what with having a little sister and all. You just don't understand children, that's all. How did you end up in the suburbs with that man? Where are your parents? They're too busy to spend time with me. The man said there were lots of kids at his house to play with, so he wouldn't feel lonely anymore. She's from I guess she's from some rich house, and her parents are not at home. They are working and they have anything in their asses. But even though we walked so far, I never got to see his house or play with any of the other kids. Then the scary arm man took me here. Scary arm man, I have a name, and I saved you. How is about to thank you? Stop it, Lily, you're scaring her. Fine, go ahead and judge a book by its cover then. Look on the bright side, at least she sees you as a full-grown man. The person you were with before was a bad man, Yelena. He wasn't going to help you make new friends. I'm way better looking than that guy. What made you trust him? But he's a big soft doggy. Doggies can hurt people, right? I can't fault her logic, but also dogs can bite you. I guess Yelena thinks he's the better looking one living. No one asked you. I'm done joking around. Help me look after her while I chase down the kidnapper. Didn't you hear what she said about lots of kids just now? It sounds like all of the kidnapped children are being kept in one place. I need to apprehend him and find out. I managed to plant a tracker on him during our fight. So you can't do that shit. Looks like you have gotten a little smarter over the years. I've always been smart, thank you very much. See? He is on Amuse Street right now. Without another word, DanHeng leaves his apartment. Mister, I lost my dolly on the way here. What does it look like? I will have DanHeng buy you a new one before he comes back. But my mommy and daddy gave me that doll. I don't want a new one. Never mind. You don't have to help me, mister. I will just go look for it myself. Yalina's pouting little face gradually overlapped with someone else's face in Feng Shuang's memory. He can't help but think of his little sister. Plankton. I can't find my rabbit doll anywhere. Help me look for it. Our parents gave you some splendid money, didn't they? Why don't you just buy a new one? It's not the same. That rabbit was a birthday gift from mom and dad. That's enough, Pengling. I still have plenty of homework to do today, and I haven't even started on mom and dad's divination task. Okay. But you have to help me find my rabbit once you're done, okay? Please. The truth is, Feng Shuang can no longer remember if he helped his sister find her rabbit that day or not. At the time, he could hardly stand his clingy little sister and often ignored her without even realizing it. Now, after lying in a coma for so many years, she can't bother him anymore. For reasons unknown to him, Feng Shuang can vividly recall the look of disappointment in her eyes that day. It was no different than the look in Yalina's eyes. Come on, let's go find your doll. Really? Thank you, mister. You're nice. Music is nice. Li follows the tracking device's signal to Amuse Street. We meet again, Freddy. All I did was rough up some of your guys. Why are you so dead set on coming after me? Don't play dumb with me. I'm not here about some petty brawl. So what do you want? Where are you hiding those children? What children? I don't know anything about any children. Wait, you're not talking about the recent kidnappings, are you? I got nothing to do with that. I may not be a saint, but I'm definitely not a coward who doesn't own up to his own crimes. So why did you bring Yarina out to the middle of nowhere? That little girl told me she lost her dolls. I was helping her look for it. No way. Helping little girls look for their toys? I didn't realize the Shadows were such a charitable organization. Don't misunderstand. She was crying up a storm and people were starting to stare at me. It was enough to give me a headache, so I agreed to help her. She said you captured some other children as well. Kids misunderstand words all the time. They can hardly tell the truth from their imagination. If you keep asking her questions, she might even confess to being the person behind the miracle. So why did you say I was just in time back then? Helping little girls find their lost dolls sounds like a job for the great Grandy's rescue team, doesn't it? I'm being serious here, I swear. You told Yelena to cut the crap when she said she couldn't walk anymore. How do you explain that? She kept bugging me to give her a piggyback ride. Why would a bona fide member of the Shadow Decree like myself agree to that? For a moment, Li is almost convinced by Freddy's sincerity. Thankfully, he quickly remembers Feng Shuan's predicted outcome. Don't try and fool me. You're the culprit. Feng Shuan's never wrong. Bested by Li, Freddy soon loses the will to resist. Soon afterwards, Lu Yan and his team appear to escort Freddy back to the Esper Union as their prime suspect. With his mission complete, Li also happily returns home. I'm back, Feng Shuan. Freddy has been apprehended and the case is all but solved. Feng Shuan, hey! The apartment is empty and completely silent, save for the faint sound of the tree. Surface requirements. Are you sure you know the way? I'm sure. I remember seeing a bunch of dead grass and those pointy roofs way over there. But we just walked past this spot a while ago. I've been here before. Just stay here while I'll go ahead and look. With that, the arena scurries off towards a pointed roof in the distance. As Feng Shuan prepares to go after her, his communicator begins to vibrate in his pocket. Feng Shuan, where did you two go? I'm helping Yelena look for her doll right now. You called at just the right time, too. Hurry up and send me the exact location where you ran into her. We have been searching all this time, but nothing so far. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack out here. funny, I never took you for the type of to ask for help. Can you just use your divination to find it? Dolls aren't living beings. I can't predict their future. Then just tell me where you are right now. We can go look for it together. No, just focus on finding Yelina's house for now. I learned plenty of information from our conversation just now. She's from Tangton and most likely lives in the small village to the east. From her description, it should be a place called Moonwatch. Not bad, my foresighted friend. I will reach out to the Marshal's Bureau right now. I'm sure her parents have filled the missing persons report, so finding where she lives shouldn't be a problem. I'll keep you posted. Bye for now. Reading hangs up before Feng Shuan can reply. Impatient as ever, I see. Who were you talking to, mister? Yelena reappears at Feng Shuan's side without him realizing it. Ah, where the hell did you, I mean, I was just talking to the nice man who came back with you earlier. I see. For a second, I thought you were going to leave me out here all alone. I said I will help you look for your doll, didn't I? I'm a man of my word, so you know. You're nice, mister. I haven't met somebody like you in a very long time. What about your family? Don't they treat you nicely too? My parents used to love me very much, but Yarina reaches into her pocket and pulls out an old, wrinkled photograph. It's water-stained and has been torn down the middle. Yarina stares at the blurry, smiling version of herself in the photo. But one day they left me all alone, so I had to start taking care of myself. Even if you got separated from them, I'm sure they would never abandon you. Taking care of you is their responsibility. I know they didn't abandon me, they were just taken away, that's all. My baby brother and baby sister were too little to be away from my parents. That's why I had to look after myself. Feng Shuan stares at the jagged tear in the photo. It feels almost mocking. As if Yelena were surplus to requirements, as if no one cared to see her smile. Feng Shuan carefully places the photo back in Yelena's pocket and gently pats her head. It's lonely being all by yourself, isn't it, Yelena? After drifting for so many years, Feng Shuan still has yet to see his own parents or his bedridden sister. Would they resent him? Fear him? Do they even miss him? Feng Shuan has no way of knowing. To ensure his family's safety from the wicked forces hiding in the shadows, he had no choice but to cut off all communication with them. In spite of his past bonds, years of wandering have left him with a sense of loneliness. For Yarina to go through all that as a married child. Lonely, I don't know. I just want someone to stay with me forever. What about you, mister? The armed man said you have got a sister, right? I do, but she's very sick. She's been asleep for years and years now, but maybe someday she will wake up. Let's go, Yalina. That nice man just sent me directions to where you first met him, so we should try searching over there. Okay, I'm sure we'll find my doll soon. That child is becoming more sus. After receiving the location data from Li Ling, Feng Shuan quickly makes his way to the place where Li Ling first encountered Yalina. However, Yalina's doll is nowhere to be found. I don't think your doll is around here, Yelena. It's getting dark outside, so why don't we call it a day? It should be close by. Let's just check a little further, okay? We are already in no man's land now. It's dangerous here. Look, see that house over there? I remember Freddy taking me past that house earlier. Maybe I dropped my doll around there. I just spoke to Reading. He tracked Freddy's movements and says that he never went through the area you mentioned. Why did you lie to us? But I never lied. Why don't you believe me? That house is covered in overgrown grass and weeds. It looks like no one has been there for a long time. Yeah, she was sus when she said she wants someone to stay with her forever. And now she's taking him to some abandoned house. And lying. And when Liling brought you back, you had grass stains on the edge of your skirt. But your sleeves are still white, and the hem of your skirt is clean. If you had spent any time in a house like that, you would be covered in dust, too. Wow, you're smarter than I thought. It's just a guess. I can't see your future. It's not my fault your powers don't work on me. That doesn't mean anything. There are only two types of entities that can affect my powers. People who are close to me and non-living beings. There are no other possibilities. Then why didn't you expose me when you met me? Was it because I reminded you of your sister? Perhaps, but there is one major difference between the two of you. She doesn't lie. You got me. I am an Esper, but I am not as lucky as you. I didn't get to keep my human appearance. Everybody was too scared of me to get close. Even though I have the best power of all, I can make wishes come true. But because of the way I look, everybody thought I was some kind of demon. Then this body of yours. It's a puppet. I use my power to create it. I wish to look like I did before, so I could talk to people again. My wish was granted. My spirit was put inside this puppet body. Now I can make friends with everyone while looking like my old self. I've never heard of a divine power capable of granting wishes. Does something like that truly exist? Of course it does. My power allows me to bend the laws of science and the world itself. I've even proved it to you. I wish that it would start raining right above your head. Tension's face is quickly solved by a sudden downpour. Meanwhile, Yelena stands just 2 paces away, completely dry. Pretty impressive, huh? So, mister, do you have any wishes you want me to grant? No. But what about your sister? Don't you want her to recover? Sus! Nobody asks for fulfilling wishes if they don't want something in return. Glimpse of the heart. You're a gentle and kind-hearted person. I'm willing to make your wishes come true. What do you want in exchange? You just have to swear to become part of my family and stay by my side. Forever. That's not bad. Become part of your family. That's right. You have to stay with me forever and ever to love and support me unconditionally. It's a perfectly fair trade. A loud vibration suddenly interrupts their conversation. Feng Shuan answers the communicator. Li Ling's anxious face appears on the screen and he begins to speak in an ardent tone. Get away from that child, Feng Shuan. She's dangerous. What's wrong? I just finished talking to the Marshal's Bureau in Moonwatch. They said that Yalena's entire family died under mysterious circumstances. Her biological father died of a sudden heart attack, while her stepmother and half-brother died in a car accident. And her biological mother was swept out to sea along with her stepfather and stepbrother, where all 3 of them drowned. Thus, prior to their deaths, they had all had some kind of argument with Yalena. The Marshal's Bureau has always suspected her of foul play, but no conclusive evidence has ever been discovered. Either way, something is not right about her. You need to get away from her right now. The Bureau also said she definitely shouldn't look like a little girl. She's supposed to be 19 years old. Understood. Feng Shuan hangs up the phone and turns calmly towards Yelena. Her expression grows cold and unfamiliar. It would be hard to see her as an innocent child with that look on her face. When Li Ling first brought you home, I thought there might have been something wrong with my powers. I clearly predicted that he would fail, so how did he manage to rescue a kidnapped child? It seems we were all wrong from the start. The kidnapper's target were never children to begin with. Freddy wasn't your kidnapper. He was your target all along, wasn't he, Alina? Kidnap? I never wanted to kidnap anyone. I just wanted a family to call my own. Then why did you kill your own parents? Kill them? What makes you say that? My father wanted to be cured of his illness. I granted his wish. My mother wanted to have a healthy son. Even though I hated the idea of having a little brother, I granted her wish as well. But after their wishes came true, they forgot all about what I did for them and the price they had to pay. They broke their promise. Promise breakers have to be punished. I never betrayed anyone. They all betrayed me. But don't worry, nothing bad will happen to you as long as you keep your promise. I'm sorry, but I can't make that promise. I'm leaving now. Take care of yourself. Oh, it's way too late for that now, mister. I won't let you escape. A soft, rustling noise is heard from the surrounding field. Suddenly, countless figures emerge from the grass on all sides. Feng Shuan instinctively focuses his divine power into his eyes and quickly scans the charging mob. Under normal circumstances, he would be able to discern their next steps. So long as he can see his attacker's movements in advance, he can find a way to escape. But his powers show him nothing. It can't be. Seeing the mob closing in on him like a pack of wolves, Feng Shuan has no choice but to gather his power into his palms and use them to block the enemy's attack. A sharp, clattering sound quickly reaches Feng Shuan's ears. They're all puppets too. So you finally figured it out. That's right, they're all lifelike puppets just like me. I'm not some pathetic little girl either. When I learned about your power to see the future, it really put me on edge. But since you never found out the truth about me, I realized your weakness. You even said so while you were talking just now. You can't foresee a puppet's future. That's when I decided to gather all of my friends so they would help me persuade you to stay. With so many friends, why do you still need a family? Well, for starters, they can't talk. So boring. That's why I want a real family. A living, breathing family with real heart to love me with. You're insane. That's not a very nice thing to say, mister. You sound just like all those children from before. At first I couldn't keep the little monsters away, but then they started crying all the time. That's why I had to shut them all up. Humans are so disappointing. That's why I decided to get a pet instead. Someone to guard the house and do my bidding. And that's when you showed up. From the moment I laid eyes on you, I knew that you were the only one who could fill my life with meaning. Now, be a good boy and come along quietly. Not a chance.
Your fate is sealed. You've already lost!
Ugh. Give it up. Without your powers of foresight, you're no different than any other pitifully normal human. I know you're tired. Why don't you take a nice long nap? By the time you wake up, we'll be home, sweet home. A dull pain emerges from the back of Feng Shuan's head, and he soon loses consciousness. creepy little girl. Oh, why the creepy little girls always have dark skin and pink hair? The Promise. Feng Shuan comes to his senses and finds himself in a completely different place. A tall, dilapidated building full of rotting furniture and the smell of decay. This is Yelina's home. Dozens of puppets lie scattered throughout the room. Occasionally a bug pops out from one of their cracks or eye sockets before quietly retreating. You're awake! Where am I? This is where I've been living. From now on, it will be your forever home too. I don't recall ever agreeing to be a part of your family. Don't you care about your little sister though? That's not like you at all, mister. I'm curious, what did you ask from your parents in exchange for granting their wishes in the past? My parents? Yelena gazes into the distance, seemingly lost in a long buried memory. Aren't you an Esper? Can't you use your powers to save your father? I can, but only if your family stays together. If our family stays together forever. No matter what, Daddy can never abandon me. He can't let himself be taken away either. What on earth are you talking about, you silly little girl? Of course your father will always be with you. I will always be with you too, and I will love you as if you were my very own. I'm so happy to hear that making Daddy's illness go away is easy. All you have to do is make a wish. Why does she have a gold eyes? I know gold eyes are kind of scary, but... Just say, I wish your father was fully healed so that we can live together forever. Is that all it takes? Okay then, I wish that your father was fully healed so that we could live together forever. I knew I would find you here again, Yelena. Hi, Mommy, are you here to see me? That's right, sweetheart. Mommy has a small problem and only you can help her with it. I want to give you a little brother. But I don't want a little brother. I just want you, Mommy. I know, my love, but if your stepfather has a son to play with, that means I can spend more time with you. Then you have to promise me something, Mommy. Promise that you will never ignore me and that you will stay by my side. You shouldn't be so distrustful at your age, Yelena, but alright, Mommy promises. If I can have a healthy son, Mommy promises to always stay by your side and never neglect you. I made their wishes come true, but they weren't willing to keep their promises to me. They said they would be with me forever, but all it took was a few years for them to forget. It wasn't my fault. If people break their promises to you after having their wishes granted, why don't you just make the wishes yourself? Or better yet, why not wish for them to always love you no matter what? Why do you need me to say my wish out loud? I reckon your power has its drawbacks too. You're scared to use your powers on yourself, so you find ways to make other people wish for the things you want. That's the only thing I really dislike about you, mister. You're far too perceptive. After Yelena granted her parents' wishes, there was a time when they all lived happily together. Her mother would take her to buy pretty dresses, and father would treat her to the best food in town. But unfortunately, people change, and when people change, they don't always keep their promises. Your stepmother and I have decided to send your brother to the city for school. We have to go with him and make sure he does well over there. That's why we enrolled you in boarding school for this semester. You're just going to leave me in Moonwatch all by myself? You're a big girl now, Yelena. Don't be jealous of your brother and don't make things harder than they need to be. We have already decided on the matter. Your stepmother will leave first during her time off, and I will follow once your brother's classes start. Mommy. Yelena, what's the matter? Daddy is moving to the city without me. Can I stay with you? Oh, Yelena, your little brother is attending summer camp this year, and your stepfather and I are going with him. Where are you going? A small seaside town called Bremes. But you have never taken me to the ocean, Mommy. Didn't you say you would never neglect me for my brother? I'm sorry, sweetheart. I promise I will take you next time. And just like that, both of them promises made, Yelena were broken. What they failed to realize, however, was that Yelena's wish-granting power could also serve as a powerful all-binding curse. The moment they left Moonwatch, they left me all alone, and my divine power made them pay for it. Asking people to stay by your side, I had no idea you were being so literal. Doesn't this go against your entire reason for granting their wishes? It's rude to scratch a girl's scars, don't you think? If so, then I am in luck. The last thing I need is for you to like me. Don't worry, I don't mind if my pets have a little character. It still doesn't change my mind. Still trying to hide your true intentions even now. My power lets me see the future and prevent misfortune. That's what you really want, isn't it? You didn't want companionship in exchange for granting wishes. You wanted control. You're neither the first nor the last person to covet my powers. Your childish trick won't work on me. You really are a tough cookie, aren't you? But you're absolutely right. What I'm really after is your power. My divine power lets me alter the world itself. I never have to have any regrets. I can become the perfect version of myself. But the power to grant wishes comes with a terrible price. Which makes me wonder, if I could foresee the price of granting a wish, could I also avoid having to pay it? So you don't just want to fix the past, you want to determine the future. To make causality your plaything, allowing you to reshape your life in any way imaginable. That's right, my life would be complete at last. If you joined me, I would be happy to share my divine power with you as well. That way, we could both live perfectly happy lives. She's lying to you, Feng Shuan. Don't listen to her. A loud crash echoes through the house as the front door is kicked out of its frame. That's enough, you shameless kidnapper! Masquerading as an innocent child despite your age and true nature, you disgust me. You're finally here. So you were stalling for time all along. I didn't want to drag him into a situation this dangerous, but right now he is my only hope for escape. Now that's more like it. This is my house, so we do what I say. I spent days and days in this house making puppets. Whenever I remembered something sad, I made one. Every time I shed a tear, I made another one. You can't even begin to count how many helpers I've created for myself. Once you're locked in this house, you can never leave. Really, because I don't think you can lock anyone up in here anymore. After all, I did just kick down your door. That wardrobe is next on my list. After that, I will tear down the walls. And then I will move on to the ceiling and the rafters. You wouldn't dare. Wow, you seem really nervous all of a sudden. Why do your eyes keep drifting upward? You didn't seem to care when I kicked your door off its hinges, so what makes the ceiling any different? Could it be that your real body is hiding somewhere up there? Before Yelena has time to react, Liling balls up his fist and throws a vicious punch towards the ceiling above. With a loud boom, he blasts a hole clear through the ceiling. Suddenly a figure drops to the floor like a brick before gingerly standing back up. With the connection severed, Yalina's puppet falls lifelessly to the ground. What have you done? Yalina, mommy too. An esper with an unknown identity who claims to possess the power to fulfill any dream. You reap what you sow, Yalina. Look out! She's going to use the puppet in the closet behind you to attack. Giving Feng Shuan's warning, Liling immediately backs away from the closet. The next moment, a knife-brandishing puppet bursts out from behind the doors. You really think your tricks will work on now that Feng Shuan can see your real body? You shouldn't underestimate my fortune-telling friend like that. Just surrender. Remember, you fools, force in my hand. Yalina's eyes gleam with desperate resolve. Suddenly Feng Shuan sees what appears to be his own future in her eyes. The details once hidden by mist are now as clear as day. Standing at the end of the road is none other than Yalina. No, don't let her speak, Liling. I wish to snatch Feng Shuan's future seeing eyes right out from his head. And I will pay any price for it. They are too late. The strands once connected to Yalina's puppet snake their way towards Feng Shuan, boring into his joints and bones and robbing him of his consciousness. Feng Shuan, are you? Liling's voice sounds distant, as though drifting away. Feng Shuan seems to have fallen into a void where neither light nor sound can reach him. His mind as well as his powers of future sight are now under Yalina's control. Liling, run. Feng Shuan, no! It's over, he can't hear you now. Now that you don't have his powers to save you, you're mine. Surrounded by countless puppets and unable to predict their actions, Liling is quickly subdued by Yalina's mindless minions. Oh no. Wonderful, now I can make any wish I wish. Echo. Hello, Zeta. Now I can make any wish I want without fearing the consequences. I wish that my parents were alive again and that our home was as good as new. But no brothers or sisters, I just want my parents and no one else. Yalina closes her eyes and visualizes the perfect scene in her mind. A beautiful family photo no longer torn in two, no false smiles. Suddenly a series of flashing images pour into Yalina's mind, cutting her off from reality. She is unable to discern the meaning of this fragmented vision. From the depths of her heart, Feng Shuan delivers a cold and merciless prediction. You will never live happily with your parents ever again. Your future holds nothing but misery and destruction. I'm fine, how are you? This is Yalina's punishment for not only violating the laws of existence but of causality as well. I don't believe you. If I ever encounter misery, I will just wish it all away and start anew. Yalina, what are we doing here? I don't recognize this place at all. Where are we? It's so dark. Let's just go home. A pair of familiar voices interrupt Yalina's thoughts. She turns and sees her mother and father standing before her just as she has always dreamed. Mommy, Daddy, it really is you! Yalina dives into her parents' embrace. Your skin is so clammy, sweetheart. Aren't you cold? I am, Mommy. That's why you need to hug me closer. But you're such a big girl now. Aren't you worried that other people will laugh at you? Yalina loses herself in their warm embrace and tries desperately to hold onto the familiar scent of her mother's hair. How long has it been since her mother held her like this? Was it before they perished 5 years ago, or perhaps over a decade ago, before her transformation? Or maybe it was even earlier, when her parents decided to break up their happy home. Mommy, Daddy, let's go home. Can we take a group photo? It's been so long since the last time. Sure, dear. Here, use my phone. The three of them sit down on the sofa and take a group photo just as Yalina had always wanted for so many years. Longer vacation. Nice. Good for you. The girl in the photo is clearly an Esper, but she smiles happily nonetheless. Her parents sit close to her on either side with no siblings to disturb them. This is the gift I always dreamed of having. Come again, dear? Oh, nothing. I just hope we can take a family photo like this every year. Divergence. Although their long-awaited reunion was a happy one, it was not long before problems began to arise. Despite Yalina's parents having no recollection of their divorce, the differences between them were still there, waiting to detonate like so many landmines. How many times have I told you to stop throwing your socks in that corner? And would it kill you to put your trash in the trash can? It's not like I am doing it on purpose. Can't you just help me throw it away? Help you? The trash can is right next to you. Why do you keep leaving garbage lying around when the trash can is right at your feet? Just go pick up your socks. Sure, I will do it right when I finish this match. Are video games really that important to you? Well, they beat having to listen to you all day. What a happy family, Yalina! Fighting again. Also, couldn't they find different disagreement, or this kind of feels low-key. Like, on the mother's side, I can understand because she's basically babying her husband, having to clean after him like as if he was a child. But he's so irresponsible. Like, I like playing video games, but that man, as a child, shouldn't he just help at home? Still, I don't like when someone is using games in this way. Like, it kind of makes me feel like the games are being used as a tool of evil. In just a single month of being back together, Yalina has heard no less than 20 different arguments. Whether it's adding salt or sugar to a dish, or judging the harm done by video games, her parents just cannot seem to agree with one another. But video games are not cozy to my heart. Unless you're getting addicted to them and neglect your stuff. Sharp whispers and muffled yells echoed through the house, constantly barraging Yelina's ears. Stop it, you two. If you really have to argue, then do it outside. Who do you think you are, talking to me like that? I'm just talking to you the way you talk to me. You know what? I think there's too many people in this house. If you are going to talk to me like that, I won't stay a moment longer. Furious, Yelina's mother flings open the door and stomps out. In that moment, a Miramon suddenly appears in their otherwise peaceful corner of the suburb. Watch out! Aha! Seeing the monster's claws and fangs bared, Yalina's father instinctively rushes out to protect her mother. Child abandonment. You weren't here when she was all evil and it turned out that she killed her parents. She just brought them back to life and forced them to live the imagined scenario she wanted for them. She didn't like the previous version of their life. They divorced, they got married again, they had other children, and she hated it. Yeah, and her parents made wishes of her, and she made them say those wishes in a way that would also ensure that her wishes would come true, and when they broke part of the promise they made through the wish, they were punished by her divine powers and died. So now she brought them back to life, but in a way that she could accept. Like, she basically is puppeteering their life. Unfortunately, ordinary humans are no match for the strength of these monsters. Mommy, Daddy! Hearing their screams awakens Yalina once more. But by the time she reaches her parents, they are already lying on the ground in a pool of their own blood, the life gone from their bodies. No, this isn't right. It can't end like this. It's fine. I will just try again. Again and again until it works. I wish that my parents were alive again. Yalina has often heard people say that love means spending time together. Surely, if they just stay together, they will learn to love each other. People spend time together to create memories and care for one another, but this one thing Yalina cannot comprehend. Yalina has not celebrated her own birthday for over 10 years now, and it has been even longer since she last visited an amusement park. I want to try every single snack at least once. I just like a little kid. Where should we start? Yalina realizes that she does not know what she wants to eat. How about the meatballs? Meatballs were actually her brother's favorite snack. Yalina distinctly recalls his crying face whenever he would pester their mother for them. Naturally, she only managed to see that by watching them from the shadows. Meatballs again, don't you always ask for those? I remember you used to cry for them all the time when you were little. Oh, so her memories got fabricated too. Due to Yalina's manipulation of her parents' memories, they often confuse their memories of his son with those of their daughter. Here you go, Yalina. Eat them before they go cold. Thank you, Daddy. Yalina takes the box of meatballs from her father and pops them into her mouth one by one. Did you like those? If so, I think you will like the fried seafood too. What's the matter with you? You know Yalina is allergic to seafood. What? But the meatballs had shrimp in them. Ugh. Yalina pulls back her sleeves and sees countless heaves appearing on her arm. Before she can tell her parents, Yalina is overcome by a powerful wave of nausea and dizziness. She has always been allergic to seafood. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. How could you not know that about your own daughter? Do you even care about your family? Of course I do, but how am I supposed to remember every little detail about her? Her father's helpless rebuttals remind Yelena of something that happened in her childhood. She was doing poorly in school, so her mother began tutoring her. She used to yell at Yelena so often back then. Her father, on the other hand, simply told her mother to understand Yelena and know her limits. At first, Yelena thought it was just her father's way of loving and protecting her. But now she realizes that her father was always so calm because he was nothing more than a spectator. A spectator in every aspect of their life. He never offered to tutor her or take her to and from school. He barely even knew the things she liked, let alone her seafood allergy. I can't breathe. With her parents' arguments fading into nothingness, Yelena has no choice but to grit her teeth and fight to stay conscious. I wish that I was healthy again. Yikes. Patriotism. Yelena has no idea how to prevent this dark prediction from coming true. All she can do is control her puppets to defend her parents from the shadows. But she fails to realize one thing. Sometimes we are the causes of our own destruction. At some point, Yelena's mother has developed the habit of gazing out of the window. What's wrong, Mommy? It feels as though I've forgotten something important. All I remember is that I was supposed to go somewhere and pick someone up. Yelena's heart suddenly skips a beat. She knows exactly who her mother is talking about. But how is that possible? I made sure to erase her memories. Yelena, where is your brother? How could I have possibly forgotten about him? What are you talking about, Mommy? I don't have a brother. That can't be right. I know I have a son, and he's waiting for me to pick him up from school. Just ask Daddy if you don't believe me. A son? If this is your idea of a joke, it's a bad one. Impossible, I clearly remember. Oh, my head. Maybe you just need a little more sleep, huh? Go on, get some rest. Besides, I think I would know if we actually had a son together. Yelena's father hesitates for a moment, then suddenly starts rubbing his temples. That's strange. It feels like I am forgetting something important too. Like someone is waiting for me. A boy, I think. I remember now. He's my son, but with another woman. I'm starting to remember things too. We're supposed to be divorced. I had a happy family with a healthy little boy. What's going on here? Yelena, did you do something to us? Why are we all living together? And where are you brothers? You're not supposed to remember any of that. I erased your memories. You can never erase a mother's love for her children, Yelena. Oh yeah, then what about me? Where's your love for me? Why do you only care about my brothers when you gave birth to both of us? You know what? It's fine. I will just start over again. I wish to start everything over again and return my parents' memories to when they first woke up. It's not going well for her, isn't it? I wish. Time and time again, Yelena unwaveringly returns to the starting point, only to arrive at a tragic ending each time. They're fighting again. Why are they always fighting? The issue with her wanting to go back is that she doesn't understand how humans are creating bonds and breaking bonds. She doesn't understand that her parents were not suitable for each other since day one. They just ignored it long enough to have a child together with each other, but then everything boiled over and they couldn't stand each other anymore. That's why you shouldn't have children with people you don't like. Her father didn't really care about her, so he didn't know anything about her. He only cared about playing games. And her mother wasn't really that nice. She was yelling at her when she was teaching her daughter. It was like, I don't know how to say it. Maybe her parents subconsciously offloaded their hatred for each other on the child, but not in an obvious way. They didn't like hate her, but used her. She was like a reminder that they're connected and they wanted to forget it. So that's why they neglected her, and then when they created new families with people they actually got along with and liked and loved and had new children with them, it was easier for them to focus on those children rather than the child that was reminding them that they were ever together in the first place. Yelling at your kid when you're supposed to help them. Remember that one? Yeah. Or helping with homework. Yeah. But Yalina's problem is that she doesn't understand that you can't just force people to like each other. You can't just force them to be together and hope for the best. Like, there was a sentence once written down here that she thought that if they will spend a lot of time together, they will create strong bonds. But she fails to realize that spending a lot of time together also means that you will see every flaw, every issue, and it will kill building. So instead of creating bonds, you can break the bonds. That marriage was doomed. Like, how could that marriage even work when the guy was doing nothing and the mother was doing everything? They weren't really meshing well together. They mentioned my brothers again. Why can't they just forget about those worthless brats? Why can't they care more about me instead? Tragedy after tragedy has left Yalina a nervous wreck. It has been so long since she last left her house or did anything that she liked. Isn't there a single happy ending to all of this? Why am I the only one who isn't allowed to have a happy life with a happy family? Do you two even care about me? Exhausted, disappointed, and heartbroken by weeks of suffering and fruitless struggle, Yalina's fragile psyche finally breaks. They have never cared about you. In your heart, you have always known that. I thought that if we spent enough time together, I would become the child I loved the most. So many relationship marriages, including, have broken up during the isolation part of COVID pandemic. Yes, they had to spend too much time together with each other. I remember when I had an internship in a district office, there were like those office ladies. And I remember how they were talking about how annoyed they are at the fact that they have to spend time at home with their husbands and children because of pandemic. Like, they couldn't stand that. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, why did you even have them in the first place? If you can only stand them when you are mostly apart most of the time. Like, I understand that people need a breather from time to time from each other, but if you need constantly to have breaks from spending time with other people you live with, it's a problem. This is something I can comprehend. Like, why having a family? Exactly. Like, those women were like, ooh, black protest, feminist. But on the other hand, I was watching them and I was like, you couldn't be further away from feminists with this attitude of yours. Yeah, they were also racist and homophobic, so they were trash. My mother did a good thing. She didn't like any man she ever dated, so she never married a guy. And she is now alone, and she is better for it because she doesn't have another man on her head that she has to serve to. Oh yeah, that too. Same women on black protest would complain about poorer people benefiting from 15 plus. Yeah, exactly. 500 plus. There is like, you can't ever meet anybody who is progressive in all the venues that you want. If someone is progressive a little in one venue, he is backwards in another venue. And they seem to not understand that a lot of those venues are connected and you can't just be on one side and not on the other too. But I was wrong. I should just use my powers to make them obey me, to love me and think of me and nothing else. Just give up. No matter how many times you correct your mistakes, destiny will always follow its predetermined course. Wait, who are you? Is that you, Feng Shuan? That's right. As your mental state deteriorates, so does your control over your divine power. Your powers are nothing but a joke. They're completely useless. What makes you say that? Up until today, my parents have been killed by Miramon 20 times, and I've nearly died from my allergies 5 times now. My mother has suddenly remembered my brother 12 times, and each time she nearly lost her mind. My father has remembered the fact that they are divorced 8 times now. But not once did your stupid powers foresee any of these horrible outcomes. It seems you have stayed in my mind for so long that you have forgotten. You're still just observing the future right now. What? Yelena gazes across the room with a blank stare. Suddenly the walls, scrolls, and furniture completely shatter before her eyes. Like a falling stack of blocks, it all comes crashing down around her in an instant. The future is predicted on established facts. Without a cause, there can be no effect. Do you know why you never bothered to use my divine power after experiencing all of those tragic outcomes? It's because none of them have happened yet. What you saw were the infinite possibilities that arose after resurrecting your parents. Yarina finally remembers that as soon as she stole Feng Shuan's divine power, an immense force sucked her into his mind. Within his consciousness, she saw a tree of countless events and their consequences, all interconnected like nodes of data. Inundated and enamored by the infinite scenes of beauty and possibility, Yarina had never left the confines of Feng Shuan's mind. So everything that I just went through is what you want me to experience? I have no way of predicting impossible outcomes, much less showing them to you. What you saw was just a taste of the future awaiting you. My mom is truly great and loving person. However, I constantly have those arguments with her where I'm convincing her that abortion is not contraception, and literally no one is treating it as such. I know that very well. My mother is the same. One day you have to show her the contraception atlas and show her 20 different types of contraception that exist, and how behind Poland is on this atlas. We are behind Russia. That's an achievement, but a bad one. You can't achieve anything if you fall lower than the lowest one. In other words, the happy life you so desperately want. Tears stream down Yalina's face and she cannot help but laugh out loud. She does not know if she is laughing at herself or at her loneliness. She no longer has the desire to win or the courage to resist. Achievement unlocked. Worse than rush. This is not an achievement. This underachievement. Derangement. What happened? Why does she look like a deflated balloon all of a sudden? She was ready to fight us to the death just a second ago. I underestimated you, Peng Shuan. Huh? Would someone care to explain what's going on here? She managed to steal my power and enter my mind. From your point of view, it takes me a few seconds to foresee the future, no more than a minute perhaps. But when I use my power, I have to experience the full duration of all of those future possibilities. In my mind, it takes days, even weeks, just to predict a single outcome. Yelena wasn't prepared to fall into a sea of infinite future scenarios. She's lost her mind. Why would she lose her mind? She experienced every single tragic outcome of her actions firsthand, and all of the pain and suffering they entail. It takes serious training to withstand a concentrated psychological attack like that. Did you predict that she would back out of your mind like that? Yes, but only once we revealed her true form. You really are something else, Peng Shuan. You found a way out of this mess in almost no time at all. I'm curious, what would have happened to her if she failed to steal your power? One of us would have died, or both. Would I have died a really gruesome death? Sure. Would you have cried? No. What? Not even a single tear? I thought we were friends. This parent reviving plot sounds like emotional damage. Yes, it is. But, sorry, but it doesn't work. I forgot to fix it. It wasn't working last time either. I don't know when it broke and why it broke. But it doesn't work. Unless you hear something. I didn't hear any. Peng Shuan, tell me something. If you had agreed to work with me, what kind of future would I have had? I can play it out in my mind. So it didn't work. If I hadn't stolen your power, if I waited for you to change your mind, would things have been different? I never bothered to look into that possibility. Why not? You have seen your sister in your dreams, haven't you? In your dreams she's happy and healthy again, and then you wake up and remember the truth. Peng Shuan is silent. Yelena is right. He has dreamed of his sister more than once. Hey! She exists! I met her! You're finally home. We have missed you all so much. Now we can be together forever, right? That's right. No one will be able to hurt us now. Look, I became an esper too. I want to work for the council and protect everyone in Tangtan. Want to join me? Sorry, but I feel like lazing around a little while longer. But you have been lazing around for years now. In Peng Shuan's dreams, his sister is a grown woman with her own hopes and dreams and a bright future ahead of her. But it's all a dream. Hey! Her boobs like alive on their own. I'm sorry, this is just a 2D animation. Look at him. He's also like up and down, up and down. This is not how the body works. Of course I have. Then why didn't you join me? We could have made a perfect world together. Because your experience convinced me not to. What? You have been trapped by your own powers. Your wish to be loved has warped your mind, and now you're stuck in the past. And I refuse to be stuck in the future. Have you ever experienced something truly unfortunate, Liling? Plenty of things, actually. You already know my family's situation back in Tangton. It's why I decided to leave. But the whole thing is out of my hands, so I just avoid thinking about it. You see, it's only when we have the power to change things that we try to impose our desires on everything. You're far too attached to the idea of perfection. But you still want to look, don't you? You say it's not worth the effort. Is it because you're scared of what you might find? I am right, aren't I? Are you crazy? Feng Shuan is not afraid of anything. She's right. So you're a coward, too scared to even dream. That doesn't make you brave, just ignorant. You trapped yourself in both the past and the future, reliving every possible moment of misery. If I hadn't stepped in, you would have been stuck there forever. Until you died. And why didn't you just let me die? Because I can't see your future, Yelena. What? I'm searching for answers too. I want to understand what our powers can give us and what they can take from us. It's taken up my ever-waking moment for the past 3 years, and it might haunt me for the rest of my days. Maybe you're the answer I've been searching for. But I'm stuck like this. A dead end, no way out. How can I be the answer to anything? That depends on the choices you make. Yelena falls into a complete silence. Are you finished? Yes. Good, cause I didn't understand a single word you just said. Maybe that's for the best. Like we say in Tangton, the fool is the luckiest man of all. Hey, I understood that one, jerk. Let's wrap this up. You would better take her in for questioning. Now if you will excuse me, I've got beauty sleep to catch up on. Liling approaches Yelena and slaps a pair of handcuffs on her wrist. She doesn't say a word. With a long sigh, Liling takes her back to the Esper Union. 1 week later. So everything has been taken care of. That's right, Yelena is in Luoyan's hands now, so he will decide what happens to her from now on. I'm just sad that I wasn't able to rescue those kids. It's best not to think about it. Yelena couldn't give them another chance at life. I wish you were wrong this time, just this one. But enough moping around. You haven't seen your parents in a long time now. I'm sure you miss them a lot. Are you sure no one will find out about this? Relax, the Esper Union has you covered. Aware that Feng Shuan hasn't seen his family in 3 years, Liling has arranged an escort to take him back to Tangton. Though he can't be close to them, he can watch them from a distance and perhaps feel a little better about leaving them behind. Feng Shuan peers through the doorway of the hospital room and sees his parents standing next to the window. Feng Ling, I brought you some fresh flowers today. I still don't know how your brother is doing or if he is well. My little girl is growing up to be such a beautiful young lady. Feng Shuan is going to be so surprised when he finally comes home. He might not even recognize you anymore. Don't be silly, he will never forget his little sister. Feng Shuan gazes at their backs and sees his mother wipe her cheeks. She appears to be crying. Mom, why don't you go in there and see them? No, it's best if they don't know my whereabouts right now. Thank you, Liling. Seeing them from here is more than enough for me. You have all been through so much. I feel like I'm gonna cry too. But don't worry, the Esper Union will take good care of your sister. I'll keep an eye on your parents for you as well. Who knows, maybe they will even start treating me like their own son. You're out of your mind. Anyway, I should get going before anyone notices me. Where will you go next? I don't know. The world is a big place. There is always someone in need of a fortune teller service, right? Page-1 searches and turns away from the light lying just beyond that hospital door. Without looking back, he walks away calmly and quickly before disappearing at the end of the hallway. I'm pretty sure that his sister is okay. At least I met her. Angling. Dislyte. I'm pretty sure I saw a character with the same design in this game. But maybe she had different name. Some NPCs have the same... Like, most of the original characters are unique designs, but most of the NPC have the same look. Maybe this is like the NPC look, and that's why I think like I met her already. Huh.
Dislyte Excerpts Radio.
Dislyte Excerpt Radio.
Huh? I can get Clara's skin if I complete this bingo. I want it! Give me more. Give me. I have to be earning those. I have to like fight or something. See, I forgot to log in. This is what I said last time. Was never doable for me. I think.
You're listening to Dislyte Excerpts Radio.
Let's see.
Gyrate News broadcast for you.
Maybe I will get currency from this. I want a skin for my Clara. She's sexy lady. Sexy lady. Sexy lady.
There's a mission?
Just look at her.
If anyone in the Union is experiencing unusual symptoms, please report them to me.
Let's see that skin of
Anyone in
hers.
the Union is experiencing
This is cool. She looks kind of like Zatanna from DC.
If anyone in the Union is experiencing experiencing unusual symptoms, please
She's
report
still
them
not wearing a bra, from what I can see. I think.
If anyone in the Union is experiencing unusual symptoms, please
Who
report
needs a
them
bra
to me.
anyway?
Dislyte excerpt.
There's a mission?
They said this was.
Oh. There's some kind of bottle here.
The light of the stars guide you. Fade into the darkness. My new design, like it? Explode!
Everyone, to your positions!
Oh no, she died. Oh no, almost hit that. I know.
My new design, like it?
I'm gonna get back.
Everyone, to your positions!
Ouch. Yeah, this is I lost cause.
Everyone, to your positions!
Leave.
You're listening to
So
Dislyte
sad.
Excerpts Radio.
That's so sad.
Dislyte excerpts radio.
Dislyte Excerpts Radio.
I got 60. Oh. Yay. how much of those I have to do to get the skin?
If anyone in the Union is experiencing
Clear stages to collect packing bags and complete bingo games to get flawless. Explain how many I have to do.
Dislyte excerpts radio.
Dislyte excerpts radio.
You're listening to Dislyte Excerpts Radio.
Dislyte excerpts radio. You've got so many.
Anyway, thank you for being here with me and see you tomorrow. Bye! I really don't want to watch including monotonous stuff. Bye bye! Kugeta!
Dislyte excerpts radio.
Dislyte Excerpts Radio.
Dislyte excerpts radio.
Dislyte excerpts radio.